Hey guys, welcome back to Maxcast Dawn of War Unification. Today I have a 1 vs 1 view on Shrien of Excellion. On the southern side playing Necrons we have Focus. On the northern side playing Eldar we have Grindan. This game was shared by Grindan with the quote, I think everyone should watch this. So here we are watching this. A quite old matchup, quite a, how should I say, prestige matchup, Necrons vs Eldar. In terms of lore, in terms of balance, this was mostly Eldar favored in vanilla because of the Wraith Tomb and stuff like that. Necrons have some ways to, more or less deal with it when they are reaching tier 2, but until then they are, a bit in danger. There was actually an attempted turret rush over here that, at least will not be completed. He can. Now that he's capturing, he's sneaky, he wants to build it. Again, too aggressive builder scarabs is something that I would normally not recommend. And not getting his 5th either. But this is... You already see some bit of a micro issue on Focus over here. Losing his scarabs over here. 2 turrets, what is this? He needs those scarabs now. There you go. Jesus. This is very unusual. I know Focus only from playing Death Guard, to be honest. But he seems to like his slow moving race. Getting quite a setback over here. In terms of economy and everything. Moving out the Necron warriors in tier 1 without a summoning core is also a mistake. They will get kited and killed by these Dark Reapers very easily. Not sure what this is all about. Very late on the economy. The economy of Eldar is way ahead already, having now the 2nd Dark Reaper squad over here. Grindan is a Tau main player. He can play most vanilla races relatively well, but his strongest is the Tau, so let's see if he can make it work over here. Currently the defense of Focus is quasi non-existent over here. 1 squad of Necron warriors and that's it. He has the turret over here firing at this shrine, which is dealing some damage and preventing him from capturing these points. On the other side, however, the points are easily captured by Eldar, as even getting opponent's point here as well. Just killing some builder scarabs can be worthwhile, as it will delay the economy build-up and capturing game of Necrons quite well. There comes the Necron Lord, trying to go into melee with the Dark Reapers, will get a swing or 2. 1, actually. And on this side, the Necron Warrior is getting kited, so this is not the best play to move them out. I mean, they are kinda, playing the zoning game, I guess. Actually getting some shots on these Guardians. So you see, that in this particular micros, you see that Grindan is not an Eldar main, but in general very well played. Even getting the obelisk, which is nice. This listening shrine is about to be killed. These Guardians will not hold here. Not sure what they're trying to achieve. You would need a Wraith Tomb to stun the turret and then attack it with Dark Reapers. For the while, I would ignore this point completely. Economy finally getting in shape for Focus. Very delayed economy game over here. As 1 squad of Necron warriors, another one will come out here momentarily. So he will have his 2 mandatory Necron warriors. Usually you go for 3 in tier 1, depending on what you want to do. It's basically at least 3. If you want to have a big old tier 1 push, you will get up to 3. Other than that, economy now 60 and 74 and 10, so this is very well playable for Eldar. Would highly recommend a Wraith Tomb to shut this turret down, to kill it. For now, he's busy fighting over here, trying to save his Bone Sinker, which gets focused and range combat by the Necron Lord, which is a good play. He now needs to go into heavy cover. This Necron Warriors, as I said, will die if their summoning core is not up yet. They can teleport back to your own structures if you have the summoning core, but before that you need to be very careful with moving them around because they are so slow. This listening shrine was actually trying to be repaired, but the turret actually killed the Bone Sinker. The bone thing actually is now a bit more expensive with this version. Very slightly though, just to make it a bit more balanced, as Eldar is probably the strongest vanilla faction, not only but part to the very good and versatile bone singer. Is the listening post actually going down? It will probably go down, and the builder setups can actually decap it. So that is an unheard of amount of value from this turret over here. Grindan is, in typical Grindan fashion, prioritizing offense over defense. We do not have any artifacts on the Necron Lord. There's not even the this is what I'm telling. This is the Rave Tomb over here, actually being used on the obelisk, on the monolith. A bit of effect about this stun. The stun duration is either 10, 20 or 30 seconds, depending on if and when you kill the Bone Sinker. If you kill the Bone Sinker within the first 10 seconds, it is 10 seconds. If you kill him within the first 20 seconds, it is 20 seconds. And if you kill him, not managing to kill him in this time, it will be the full duration of 30 seconds. So your goal is to kill the Bone Sinker that teleports in. There's the one trying to go in again, or this the next one here wants to try, and you need to teleport. You will not be able to walk for the most part. And you can also stun these turrets. So this is 2 Bone Singers over here, very good micro. One will probably use this. Yeah, the turret is now not firing. This is 3 Dark Reapers, 1 with the Exarch, or 2 with the Exarch, 1 not. And yeah, you see the turret is not firing. The Dark Reapers have free reign over these Necron warriors, which are not free if you reinforce them. This obelisk, however, will be able to fire in some very mean bombs every now and then. Tier 2 is finished now for the Eldar player, for Grindan. I actually keep an eye on how his upgrades are progressing. There's even now point over here. So he rushed tier 2 kind of, and now he needs to get the targeters ASAP. There's even now the Farseer over here. That's okay, against the Necron Lord probably, for the good old Mind War. Necron Lord died actually, I missed that, due to the Mind War I guess, and this now they do what I say, getting this turret killed with the Dark Reapers. His point on the other side will take some damage, but this is okay. He needs to take his own points. Tier 2 is done, but he still got no targeters. This is kind of sad. Also floating a hell of a lot of resources. He needs some fire dragons, more generators and targeters. Yeah, he just now noticed that tier 2 is finished. Getting targeters, needs the armor as well. Benefits all of your troops. And so mandatory upgrades over here. And then with more generators, 1 or 2, he then can get a support. Webway support portal, I think it's called. Now getting fire dragons, but needs more population, which he currently does not have. On the other side is Necrons trying to get to tier 2. No! Big economy boom actually, and a lot of turrets. So this turret needs to be cancelled, I guess. This is okay. He starts it if it's and if it's needed, he will build it completely. So this is a way to save up some resources, or to save some resources in general. So after the very topsy-turvy start, especially from focus, he is now able to stabilize, and this is when it becomes a little bit dangerous. If Necrons are able to stabilize, if they're able to get in tier 2, if they're able to field some units, they can be dangerous. For now, the Necrons are still, how should I say, contained in their own base. Fire dragons coming in to kill some obelisks, need to turn off the fire, and finally Grindan is able to get his points out. Has a web brigade to get the population for the fire dragons, but needs a web brigade support portal as soon as possible. A Falcon Grav tank would be absolutely amazing, though tier 2 is more or less now finishing up for Necron, so the anti-vehicle options will be there to deal with it. Getting now the outer point here as well. So it's only 3 obelisks. 3 obelisks is playable for Necrons for a while. Less than that is not. Phase shift has been purchased, and do I see some phylactery? Not now. Phylactery would be the normal thing as well. And you can phase shift also your buildings. You see that they're not taking damage and getting repaired a bit. So the phase. Okay, he goes for the lightning field. Is this little field over here and the phylactery. Okay, lightning field is mostly used against melee units as they help with it. And Necron Warrior, will they? No, they will not wipe. Necron Lord coming back out again. And yeah, we have to take on hold 2 minutes, but there's the Canoptic Wraith. He can use the phase shift ability, but the phase shift does not, how should I say, last for the full duration. So let's see if the HP is enough to survive this after the phase shift is over. It is. So the take and hold victory is dealt with. The Canoptic Wraith has an upgrade. I would assume he got it. So it is more sustainable, and the ability I think is maybe even locked behind it. So the take and hold victory has been prevented. You can, even if the phase shift for the Wraith doesn't, how should I say, last the full duration, you can use the phase shift to Necron Lord, then in conjunction with the Wraith. So you have a more or less, not a more or less, you have a guaranteed decap of the point in the middle with that. Wraith is actually very annoying for these ranged focused Eldar, as they have a range damage resistance of about, I think, 40 or even more %. So this is kind of sad. But there comes the counter already, which is Harlequins, which is Banshees. Banshees need their special upgrade to be worthwhile, because it buffs everything they do. The Banshees are more or less the counter to these melee troops, which is the Canoptic Wraith. Because the Wraith has some range damage resistance, but not melee. So Harlequins can deal with it. Which one is just standing here getting shot by the turret actually. And Banshees. But the Banshees, as I said, need their Howl. Yeah, this one, the Call of War research. It basically buffs everything they do. HP, movement speed, damage, everything. You can, after that, you can leave them as Grindan does on fleet of foot. So the main appeal is to tie down the melee troops and actually getting more hits in. So while you will miss more, you will also be able to land more hits, which more or less cancels it out. Necron Lord going into melee with some Dark Reapers, but more Dark Reapers, including Farseer, is here. The Mind War gets a bit cancelled, you could say, with the Phylactery, as regeneration is so fast. But there's the death marks. You see them marking more and more units. Each shot marks a unit, and the unit will take more damage from all sources, not just from the death marks. The death marks now getting focused by the Banshees. Big blast, getting these ladies aside, but they are coming in again using their Call of War, their Shout. Falcon Craft Time coming in, unloading, and some Fire Dragons, which now will focus down the turret preferably. This turret is upgraded, and these upgraded turrets from Necrons are absolutely, they're an army, they're the unit, a squad more or less by themselves, you could say. That's why they are also limited to 4. Is he trying to get the Greater Summoning Core? Tomb Blade is on the way. Now Death Marks, in conjunction with one squad of Immortals, no Immortal out yet, will melt vehicles pretty fast. Dark Reapers are still here on the one side, and on the other side it's more or less quiet. One squad of Dark Reapers is there as well, so we have all the action in this little area here. Fire Dragon now opening fire on the Tomb Blade. The Tomb Blade has the vehicle low armor, so it will take damage also from anti-infantry weaponry, but it has some chance to dodge some attacks. Canoptic Wraiths being annoying as they like to be. There's 2 Harlequins actually. The Harlequins can try to focus down the commander or infantry. For now they are just standing here. There's more and more abilities used by the Farseer, and not sure if he got the armor at some point, or even the Farseer upgrades. Another Falcon is out. He has, this is now the 3rd Falcon. He stays there. He sticks with the little Bright Lance. It has not the anti-vehicle, anti-infantry weapon. Actually jumping now in, trying to get this Gauss Turret. This Gauss Turret will be saved by the Necron Lord. Gauss Turret, as I said, dealing a hell of a lot of damage. Tomb Blade jumping out as well. There's now the Falcon Craft Tank in the backline. So the question is now what to focus. Focusing the units is nice and all, but Necron can reproduce. The question is if you are focusing the economy or the production. One of the two. If you have like infinite micro, you would have seen now the Bone Sinkers teleporting in and using some Rave Tomb on this Grail Summoning Core, for example. But that, yeah, micro is limited on these players. Further down the Tomb Plates are these Falcons, which is what they are doing best. The Dark Reapers here need to run away for now. The Necron Lord is full HP again because of the phase shift and the Phylactery, so yeah, you can use Mind War on him, but he will survive. Now big focus fire here, the Banshee is doing big damage. There was the Exarch actually getting killed, I think, and in comes the Solar Pulse, so he did not get the Lightning Field. This was this little aura around him, the Phylactery it seems. I haven't noticed that before, but there was some Necron FX overhaul in the past. Down goes this Craft Tank now, unloading before dying, even surviving with only, what is this, 60 HP. More Falcons, I guess. No, now a Wraith Lord of all things. Requisition upgrade number 1. So playing a bit of the eco game. Speaking of eco, plus 70 for the Necrons is playable. Big economy for the Eldar. This map in general does not favor Necrons because it has one more point than usual, and Necrons cannot make economy out of points. They prefer maps with low point count or a select deposit. Like Meeting of Minds is okay because it has a select deposit. In comes Wraith Lord using his Bright Lance actually, so he goes into vanilla anti-vehicle options. The Shadow Spectres, which we have seen in previous patches, has been put to tier 3, so we will not see it here. So long-ranged anti-vehicle will be again a Wraith Lord over here. Can also, as you see, double down in melee against something like the Necron Lord. Death Marks over here. I haven't seen one Squad of Immortals yet. One Squad of Immortals would go a long way, in my opinion, over here. 140 and almost 60 income, so days. Eldar can sustain this fight for quite some time. Reinforce. How are the Banshees looking? Did they just all die over here? There's the Exarch going down. Poor lady with her big spear. The spear gets enabled by this research. Finally, the armor getting researched. Way too late for my taste. These Banshees would have liked the armor quite well. The Tomb Plates actually dealing quite well against these vehicles with in conjunction with the Death Marks. Normally I would say get an Immortal, and Immortal would deal with it, but this looks very promising over here. And Dantes was watching this actually, okay? Dantes has been kicked out, interesting. He has seen more and more of these vanilla plays than all of us together, I guess. 2 squads of Dark Reapers just standing here for now, getting some micro mistakes from Grindan, so he lost everything apart 2 Dark Reapers. Is he getting tier 3? He is. And rebuilding the Fire Dragons. The question is now, yeah, what does Necron do? Necron still staying to tier 2. Economy is not best. He needs one more generator and, of course, also the economy upgrade. You could also add a second monolith, which also gives you plus 10, which does not decay, for example. This is also a way to play. Using now the Web Brigade and getting a Wraith Lord out again. A power upgrade as well. Tier 3, as I said, is about to finish. And then he could get Morgan Ra in conjunction with these Dark Reapers, which gives him them perfect accuracy, even with fleet of foot, increasing their damage by about 70%, 60%, by quite a lot. This one squad. Or even, as I said, the Shadow Spectres would be very good, I think, against basically any target, as you can switch the ammo type. There's also the aircraft, the new aircraft, which can be very nice here, as we only have Death Marks for now. Or do we? We have some infantry population. These should be Death Marks, I think. Over here. No, these Wraith are actually the infantry pop. What does he go for now? More Fire Dragons. There's the Helmlock Wraith Fighter, which is basically a commander flyer. You can get it instead, I think, of the Seer Council. This is a Warlock flyer with some abilities. It has an aura, I think, that, or one thing that debuffs enemy when you use it around him. I have forgot what it does, but yeah, now that the fight is in Eldar space, this looks very bad. You see the Mind War being used on a Wraith, which I like a lot, because every dead Wraith is a good Wraith, I guess, and if you are Eldar player. Tomb Blades now coming in. And yeah, the Wraith, look at them. The one has only like minimal HP, but still living here. This Dark Reaper Exarch is refusing to go into the webway, relocating over here, getting your points out. And there's now finally the Hemlock Wraith Fighter, which can deal with most of these units, especially the melee units, as melee units cannot melee aircraft. There are only a handful of units that could do it, I think. Not sure if there's if they are still doing it or if it was a bug. There was a thing with Commander Brightsword, I think, which it did. He tried to attack aircraft in melee, which has been fixed. Canoptic Wraith going into here with the help of the Deathmark's Tomb Blade. So the question now, what does Mr. Focus do? Getting more Deathmarks is good. Getting another generator is good. The generator upgrade, as I said, would be enormous. Then comes more Banshees. With the tier 3 upgrades of armor and stuff, they can be very helpful. Yeah, even some Wraith Guard coming in. I like those. Does he get some weapons? No, he sticks to their standard. This is Wraith Cannons. I do not know what the actual term is, but here comes the Hemlock Wraith Fighter focusing down this Tomb Blade, and these guys can now also fire. They have the fleet of foot ability from their Wraith, from their spirits here. They should disable it when they're actually firing, because yeah, doing the usual nerf to the accuracy. You see the Hemlock Wraith Fighter is quite durable, and I want to see this Wraith Guard firing, but they're getting melee, they're firing here. Boom, 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 big shots. But the Necron is phase shifted, so he is just standing there being like the boss he is. Second level of targeters has been researched, so these Eldar units hitting harder than before. The question is now, what does he add to this? He has a lot of power, so a Wraith Lord maybe, Wraith Blades, if you want to double down on economy, even getting more and more economy upgrades. Greedy Grindan, I would say, over here. Now getting the Banshees are not surviving, question mark? Question mark? No, they died before they could reinforce. The Wraith Guard over here are now again in firing range, but there are three Wraith and the Necron Lords being annoying. A lot of power, as I said, again on his side, reinforcing these Dark Reapers, of course. He would need, I think, Morgan Ra for the second squad. This would help his damage output quite well. Or he could go for the Banshee leader lady as well. Deathmark's now opening fire on the Wraith Guard. Wraith Guard doing some damage on the Necron Lord. And back are the Deathmarks. There's a Ghost Arc, which is very nice as well. Hemlock Wraith Fighter trying to kill this turret. And this is a battle on the edges. Look at the damage of the turret. This could backfire really hard. It misses. Now it hits. This is actually a close fight. You might look at this. This is boring, but this is a lot of economy just exploding over here. There was, I think, a Bone Singer either heading to repair or to stun, but it was too late. Annoying Wraith coming back up again, getting big old shot again, reviving again, and then getting a Mind War for its troubles. And then it stays down. There's finally a squad of Immortals. I was waiting for this, but there's no vehicles anymore. What is he going for? The Tesla Carbines. The Tesla Carbines are having little AoE and dealing good damage against infantry as well. But the Tesla Carbines would be the way to use the Immortals in this situation. Immortals would have been better way earlier because there were actually vehicles. Now there aren't. No vehicles over here. Warp Spiders are now on the way. Getting also hopefully their Warp Spider War Gear, which however is I think researched in the Aspect Portal. So there is an argument for getting a second Aspect Portal in this instance. Nightshade Interceptor getting built. Tier 3 Flyer, very potent, very good against vehicles. Dire Avenger now as these tier 3. These Guardians have been replaced by the Dire Avengers, which can get the Dire Avenger Exarch and stuff like that, having a bit more stats all around and being useful. There you see it. Absorbing some shots, at least more turrets. Did he kill his other turrets or did they got killed? He can only support 4 vehicles. There's now the warp spiders. Where are they? They were teleporting over here. There they are. Is he getting the... there's no... The Hemlock Waste Rider is getting rebuilt. What is he researching? Okay, Shrine add-on. He tries to get again the Taken Hold victory, but he can't. In comes the Ghost Arc. Ghost Arc, has it some units inside or not? It has not, but it can be quite a nuisance in terms of just sheer HP. It can also collect Necron bodies to revive them, similar to the spider. Was heard over here. What is he getting? Banshee again. Getting now Morgan Ra, as I said. Phoenix Lord Morgan Ra. He's quite a beast. And there's actually now pretty much closing into his base. He was a bit too greedy, I think, for the economy upgrades. He would needed more stuff, actually, instead of more and more upgrades. Like replacing his Banshees a bit earlier. Getting, as I said, what again? These little specters, as well as a second squad of warp spiders. The warp spider upgrade would be nice, but he's now getting pushed back to his base, like on all fronts. He has this side one lonely Dire Avenger. Let's call him Dave, the Dire Avenger over here, capturing this relic. This is his duty for the craft world, I guess. Immortal standing here in conjunction with Deathmarks. This is turning into an infantry death ball. You would need some Necron warriors to actually tank the shots, as these Immortals do not have a lot of HP. Morgan Ra is now out. He needs to be attached to the Dark Reaper, but yeah, the Wraith are an issue over here. So even with the bad start Focus had, he was able to push through his Necrons. He being as stubborn as the Necrons are, just browse through the bodies over the battlefield to see how much action has happened throughout the game. I didn't even notice there were flayed ones on the field. Not for long, I guess. Look at all the bodies around. There was action all around the map. There's no part of the map, apart from maybe here, where there are no bodies. In the middle, but there was no fighting really. But yeah, the whole map is covered in bodies, so I like this game a lot. Even though there was some obvious misplays in the beginning from Focus, some mismanagement in the economy later from Grindan, but overall this cancelled out pretty well to make up for an exciting game. I hope you liked it, and yeah, as usual guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye!